A few days after vanquishing Spartak Moscow in the UEFA Cup, we are away to Dundee in the SPL. Oh, and look, we've got an Old Firm game. I'm hoping for a draw or a Celtic victory there. I make the usual changes back to the first 11 of the league, and we go on to destroy Dundee 5-1. Hasselgaard, Tumba, Kjellberg, Millie and Fabrini all getting on the score sheet. Celtic defeat Rangers at Ibrox, which means they are now third, 9 points behind us, and we are now 2 points behind Rangers with 1 game in hand. Speaking of the Old Firm, it's time for our Scottish League Cup quarter final against Celtic at Celtic Park. Because of the run of games involving Europe and obviously the league, this League Cup game there has to be quite a few forced changes as there's a lot of tired legs in my team. So, the team consists of Hislop in goal, back four of Johansson, Phillips, Hancock and Jonsson, midfield Fouch, Whitley and Kjellberg, and up front we have Fabrini, Barbosa and Barlow. I'm hoping that since I've had to make quite a few changes from the weekend due to tiredness, that Celtic will have to do the same. And no, it still looks a fairly strong first 11 from Celtic and not a single tired player amongst them. That is slightly disappointing considering they are just off the back of an Old Firm game. Well, I guess you could put that down to them having top training facilities, which I assume helps with recovery from games. And hopefully by the end of the season we'll have something approaching that. Right now we're still at adequate, and that's just not good enough. Not for my likings. It'd also be nice if we could turn ourselves from semi-pro to professional as well. And he aims at the top corner and he puts it there. Kjellberg, right in the top bag, puts us 1-0 up against Celtic. And yeah, we're in a decent wee run against Celtic it seems. Lucatoni, and it doesn't count. Baldy had strayed fractionally offside. Is Baldy down that far forward? Thankfully it was, and that's the type of rub of the green we'll be needing to make our way into the semi-final, I think. Oh god, look at Tony. Such a player. Was it 3.4 million they got him for? Yeah, we're on a decent-ish run against Celtic, it seems. We've played them 4 times, this being the 5th, and we have won 2 and they've won 2, and I think that's a very good record. And hopefully we can swing that towards ourselves, having it 3 victories over their 2. Look at Tony offside again. Are we playing is this tactic would play a very high line? I don't think it does. We sit very deep when they come forward. It's impressive that he's been caught offside. Can we nab another just before half time? Barlow has a dip and it goes in. Barlow still scoring goals for us every time he features. I mean, his stats aren't brilliant, but my goodness, he's just playing so well at the moment. Players are not that tired, which is good. Attendance 51,860, half of that in my pocket. Fotheringham comes on for Kallstrom. That's an interesting substitute. I don't mind that, I don't think. Kallstrom going off. Whoa, dry, -1 degree Celsius. Chilly. Just like it has been IRL. Don't know where you are in Britain or even the world at the moment, but we had a bit of snow recently. And as soon as that snow hit, I straight away got in at night and put on John Carpenter's The Thing. Every time we get a snow day, that's what I do. I don't know why. Such a good movie. Fernandez, Anderton, Tony tries to get past. We bring down Tony. It takes a wee bit. It doesn't sound right, does it? Saying just Tony. It has to be Luca Tony. Hasselgaard will take on. Barlow slightly tiring. And Millie what pops up with a goal for us here and there, it seems, this season. I've been checking some of the stats for our midfielders, and Millie and Kilberg are doing very well for us whenever they play centre mid. Just need to see this one out, guys, and we are through to the next round. No slip-ups. Oh, Crady's a decent wee left back as well, actually, for Celtic, and he never really amounted to anything in real life. And we have a third, do we? Yes, it counts. Johnson, a right back, scores. And this has been some result. 3-0. What an absolute hammer. And we start December with a huge victory against Celtic that takes us into the next round, into the semi-final. Yeah, pretty standard results it seems. So we can get Rangers, Aberdeen, Dundee United. Who will we get? Rangers. If we're going to be in the League Cup final, at least we have to do it the hard way. Back to league matters, and we are away to 5th place Aberdeen. I once again changed the first 11, this time going back to our usual league first 11. And we have a very frustrating game against Aberdeen, eventually drawing 1 each, missing a penalty, and Aberdeen even getting a man sent off right at the end as well, battering them the whole game but just not finishing them off. Us drawing, and with Celtic and Rangers winning their respective games, means that Rangers are now 4 points ahead of us, having played 1 game more than us, and Celtic are now 7 points behind us. In transfer news, Inverness Cali Thistle bid £1 million for Whitley, our midfielder. They've been sniffing around him for a while now and have managed to negotiate it up to £1 million. He's a good player for us, but he picks up too many yellows and red cards, so I accept. Before we can finalise that transfer, however, we have the UEFA Cup game against Spartak Moscow. Almost forgot that there was actually a second leg to this after our 4-1 away victory. Everyone and anyone that didn't feature in the last match, or hasn't featured in a while, plays today, including our reserve goalkeeper Ibsen. On a freezing cold, hail-stormy night, we win 3-0, Barlow scoring twice and Fraser scoring once. It was actually a fairly even game between us, but we were absolutely clinical in front of goal. Celtic and Rangers managing to squeeze into the next round also, and we immediately have the draw for the 4th round. Don't want to get either Celtic or Rangers. And we get Dynamo, another Eastern European team it seems. I'm not sure if this is even Dynamo Kiev. Let's have a look at a few of their players. Decent goalkeeper, just check out their star players actually. Olic, oh wait, I know of him, Olic. Mikic, don't know him, but very tidy player. Again, look like they could be a decent team. And we can get around to finalising that transfer of Whitley to Inverness Cali Thistle. With a player heading out, I think of bringing a player or two in. There was quite a few suggestions in the comments in the last video, and one of them being Skilidis here, Skilidis, and he is amazing. Sadly, he's already signed for a club, so it'll make it kind of difficult bidding on him and maybe trying to get him to come to us. But bid I do, and I do my usual, like some money up front, some money after 50 league games, and yeah, a lot of money after 30 international games that he'll probably never ever reach, not in the lifetime of this save anyway. I also remember a left back I used to sign quite often in other saves, Caligaris, and he is amazing in this save. His stats always turn out quite well, but I think this is the best they've ever been, so I go about making a bid for him also. In the meantime, we have an away game against 6th place Livingston, and it's mostly my usual first 11 in the league, with just a few changes due to tiredness or bookings. We have Hancock in defence, Falch in midfield, and Barlow up front. And we go on to absolutely struggle against Livingston. They were the better of the two teams for the majority of that game, and we're actually quite lucky to have a 1 each draw. Rangers and Celtic still winning their games. That means that Celtic are now 5 points behind us, and Rangers, with still one more game played than us, are 6 points ahead of us. In good news, however, we have our transfer offer accepted for Caligaris, and we go about doing our contract trick. and he immediately accepts our contract offer for a deal worth £1 million, with 250,000 only going out just now. We get this absolutely amazing left back, and I cannot wait to see him in an East Stirling shirt. It's not all great news on the transfer front, however, as Skilidis rejects the move completely, doesn't want to even negotiate a contract because he's very happy at the club he's just signed for. Frustrating. We're away to Hibs in the league, and we make quite a few changes to our first 11. Making his debut today, Calageris in at left back. D'Amico takes his place back in the DMC role. Fabrini is coming in for Hasselgaard, and Tumba takes his place up front instead of Barlow. We go on to have a rather tense game against Hibs, battering them the whole game and just finding the winner in the 72nd minute from Millier. Calageris had a great debut, getting man of the match with an 8 out of 10. And one of the other results today go our way as Celtic draw away to Livingston, which means we go 7 points ahead of Celtic. And we are 3 points behind Rangers, having played 19 games apiece. We are then away to 4th place Dundee United, and have one change from the last game, and that is Matabuena coming in for Millier. We have a rather solid 2-0 victory against Dundee United, Calageris and Barbosa scoring a goal apiece. And with Celtic and Rangers both winning their games, there is no movement at the top. In the meanwhile, I'm having some problems getting Calageris to sign a new full-time contract. He's still on a rolling contract, and I can't get him to sign a new one without it having a very miserly minimum fee release clause. I'm trying everything I can to either have a very high release clause or a relegation release clause instead, but he's having none of it. Hopefully I'll be able to get him to sign one shortly though, as I don't want a club coming in and snapping him up for free. While we're talking contracts and money, let's have a look at our bank balance, and everything is pretty healthy. We are sat at just under 5.6 million total and a transfer kitty of 5.5 million. And it looks like we are not finished adding to that bank balance this month, as Dundee United offer 475,000 for Matabuena. They must have been really impressed when he featured against them the other day. The 475,000 meets his minimum fee release clause, so I cannot negotiate and have to accept. Motherwell get in on the act, also offering 475,000 for Matabuena, cause, it has been a while since they've bid for one of our players. Before we can complete any transfer, we are at Tynecastle facing off against Hearts. Just a couple of changes from that last match. We have Falch coming in for D'Amico. Falch has been moaning about getting some game time. And we also have Fraser coming in for Tumba, as Fraser also wants some game time. And we do just enough to defeat Hearts 2-1, Fraser and Fabrini scoring. And Rangers and Celtic once again win their game, so once again no movement at the top of the league. The papers are starting to report that we could just maybe challenge for the title, although they appear dubious, and I of course say, yes, of course we're challengers. And that optimism delights the supporters, with the fans currently having the utmost respect for Peeper's ability to manage the club. And even my chairman is delighted with me, so I feel it'd probably be the best time to ask my chairman to improve the training facilities by the end of the season. And the board agree with me, saying that they will invest. Matabuena agrees to sign for Dundee United, and at 475,000 I'm okay with this, I guess. Running really low on midfielders though. We have a chance to go 10 points ahead of Celtic in the league, and all we need to do is beat them here in Falkirk. The team lineup today is Hislop in goal, Calageris, Padelidis, Solly and Jonsson make up our back four. In midfield we have D'Amico, Kilberg and Millier, and up front we have Fabrini, Barbosa and Tumba. So can we end this video the way it began and defeat Celtic to make it 4 victories to their 2 and give us a 10-point lead in the league? Well, 10-point lead to the 3rd place team, I guess. We're still trailing behind Rangers. Oh, I've just noticed it's Sunday the 26th of December 2004, playing on Boxing Day. Check it out, yeah, they've got all the big guns out. Landon Donovan, look at Tony here. Wait, Was that... it was Luke Chadwick. What is Luke Chadwick doing in a Celtic shirt? Jeez, oh. Wasn't he at one time a young prospect at Man U, and Celtic take the lead? Sutton giving Celtic the lead here. Is this payback time for Celtic to make it once again a 50% ratio of wins between us and Celtic? Or maybe we even get a draw? Imagine that. It just seems to be all Celtic. Hislop doing well to keep them out so far. Come on, guys. Yeah, wasn't Luke Chadwick a young, hot prospect at Man U back in 2000, 2001? And all I really remember him for is everybody slagging him for being ugly. Poor lad. Fabrini equalises out of nowhere, it seems, and we have been very poor this game so far. Just notice the stats, my goodness. With our first shot on target, we score. And hopefully that will drive us on, give us some confidence, because right now Celtic are, even though it's 1 each, Celtic are dominating. Maybe it seems that neither the two of us prefer playing at home against each other, as our away performance, that bloody ugly Chadwick. I'm sure he's a dapper looking lad nowadays. He's what, probably about 34, 35 now, maybe even older. Half time 2-1 to Celtic. Tumba is playing terribly. He will be coming off if that does not improve. Actually, the whole team can come off, it seems. Nobody's playing particularly well. We have 6,500 at the game today. Not bad turnout. Almost capacity, I think. I'm still not entirely sure what capacity is, but it must be just under 7,000. Going forward. D'Amico, Millie dives onto it, but it's kept out, and we get a corner, and it is cleared. Yep, now it's Barbosa is playing really badly, and yeah, sorry guys, I'm switching. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I've pressed the wrong button. I'm switching to my old tactic, busting out the old 4-4-2. And now, if I can just get everybody, I'm sure I've got. Yep. That's it. Barbosa left, Millie right, and everything else is fine there. I'll play that for a few minutes and then think about making subs. The iodine just was not doing anything against Celtic, it seemed there, so maybe a change to the 4-4-2. Well, the ratings have improved slightly, but I'm needing to make subs because they are tiring. Falch on for D'Amico. Hasselgaard can come on for Fabrini, and Grondin, Millie and Barbosa can play right. Come on guys, give us an equaliser. Staying at 7 points between us is absolutely fine. Chadwick seems to be bloody everywhere. What is going on? What formation are they playing? Because Chadwick seems... Is he playing as like a fullback? Alright, so they are playing basically, it is a classic Martin O'Neill tactic, that is like a 3-5-2, a 5-3-2 type system. Okay. Oh, what? That was clearly a penalty, ref. Usual, big teams got a lot of decisions. I'm not seething. I'm not absolutely raging that we're getting beat at home, the Celtic. No, come on, one last push. No, it's Celtic offside there again. Tedman actually having a decent game against us. What's going on? He's usually an absolute bottler when it comes to us. And rubbing it in, the future Celtic manager scores against us. 3-1 to Celtic. felt as if that was a bit unfair at the end there, making it 3-1, but Celtic played very well, and they now 4 points behind us now. If you're enjoying this series, then please give the video a little like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you wish to hear my thoughts on video games and TV and movies, then you can also follow me on Twitter at PoloMint Peeper. Thanks for watching. Bye!